here we are today. We are backstage. Basically, you just had a really fun kickoff to something cool. What's going on with you?
Well, I tell you what. Well, we're finally getting out of the house.
Okay.
Finally getting out of the house, going out, and this is the year that my song "You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma" was next last year was 40 years last year of that particular song with me and Shelley West, and now this year is "They're Gonna Hire a Wino." It was
Oh,
40 years. It went number
wow.
one in August 13, 12, somewhere in there. And so we're celebrating the wino song. So I'm doing a wine tasting today.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know that song really well. One of the songs that we used to sing on the school bus, because we used to sing it on the school bus, at the top of our lungs, I'm gonna hire wino, and the acoustics on a school bus, you wouldn't think that it's great, but they are good
Oh, I
because you
bet it
got like
is.
the
Yeah.
curved ceiling of a
Yeah.
school bus. So anyway, but congratulations. And we're
Thank
here
you.
on the country music cruise. Have you done the country music cruise before?
I have done it. It's been, I guess, a couple of years.
Okay.
And what was it, 2020 or something like that? And we had a great time on that show. And so it was a pleasure to be able to come out and do it again. And it's great. I tell you what, the last little while we haven't been able to get out, and do our songs so much. And I haven't been able to run across all my friends. But and I'm not used to that. I'm used to being able to see everybody at least every once a week, right? Out doing a TV show or a concert or something somewhere. And now we just haven't. It's weird. And I tell you what's even weird. I haven't been able to perform my songs.
Feels good, doesn't it, to be able
It
to
feels
sing?
good. Well, you got to do your songs. I mean, that's why you're here. Why you're born. And so it's been great to see T.G. Shepherd and my Jimmy Fortune, all Lacey J. Dunn, T. Graham Brown. Oh my God. So it's been great being out here with them, and I just appreciate them letting me come out here.
I grew up singing in a patriotic singing group. So we would do
Oh,
songs from the 30s to the 70s, and we always do a patriotic finale. And in my research, I found out you're a veteran. So I wanted to tell you welcome home.
yeah, I am a veteran. That's right. I was in the Air Force. Actually, they was getting ready to. Actually, I was with Brother Lefty,
Okay.
and I was touring with him, and then I realized they were getting ready to bring me into the Army, and so me and another couple of friends of mine went in and joined the Air Force. And I didn't even think of the Air Force, right? We went out and joined the Air Force, and I spent 4 years in there, and it was a really good time. I got a chance to sing I got to sing all the time I was in there.
I bet they loved that. I
I
bet they
did.
absolutely loved that. Having music is such a healing thing for so many people.
They've got a thing in the Air Force called Men in Blue or something in blue, and I was getting ready to get on. I actually went down and was a judge at some of those contests, and throughout those 4 years, and then every weekend I'd play something with me and my guitar, all through those 4 years. And then I was getting ready to be released after 4 years,
Mhm.
and they asked me if I would re up and work with the Men in Blue.
Mm,
And I had a job with Buck Owens, so I
nice.
had to go with Buck Owens.
Nice.
So I went from the Men in Blue and Air Force to Buck Owens out of Bakersfield.
Yeah, I love Buck Owens. I mean, I
Oh
really
man.
did. What a talent.
Oh my gosh. Everybody around Buck was talented.
Yeah.
Everybody around Buck, Susan Ray, all the people around Buck Owens was talented. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Freddie Hart, me, and all guys.
Now, your brother, his birthday will be tomorrow, right? The anniversary of
Can
his
you
birthday.
imagine? Can you
Wow.
imagine tomorrow? It's my brother Lefty's birthday, and so much in this last week has come back. I think of Lefty every day. I'm
Of
speaking
course.
about Lefty every day, and we're doing a lot of different things in his for him and his name. And but tomorrow is his birthday, and I'm so excited about doing a show.
How did he feel? So here you are, you're 12, you're out on the road with him, you're carrying his guitar, you're probably polishing his shoes, or all the things that he probably told you had to do for him. How did he feel though when he realized that you also wanted to perform? Did he
He knew
bring
it.
you along okay, or
He knew
did he
it.
say, "Oh, I'd rather you not"? Like, what was that moment like?
It was really something. I tell you what, when I was 12 or 13 years old, we were living in Loco Hills, New Mexico, between Artesia and Lovington. New Mexico. My dad followed the oil field work, so he had us everywhere. But at this particular time, we were all living in Loco Hills in the sand dunes of New Mexico. And Lefty would come by on his tours. Uh, I must have been 11, 12, 13 years old maybe. And he'd come by and he'd stop to see mom and dad and all of his kids and so forth. But he'd always take me with him when we'd leave.
Nice.
And he'd take me, and he just took me with him. And then he'd allow me to get on stage, sing a song of what. And then sometime before he'd get me back to the house again, he'd take me into a recording studio. I never did realize why he did, but I enjoyed it. I mean, studio. And I would sing some song or another. And then I would finally realize later on that he was just checking my voice out.
Wow.
And then
He's
he
auditioning you and you
he
didn't
was
even know
auditioning
it.
me. I didn't even know it. And then when I turned 16, I think it was, um, I went out and I started tuning the guitars for the show, cleaning it. I mentioned that earlier, tuning the guitars up, and then he let me go on first. He'd get me out there first, and I go do 2, maybe 3 songs, and then I'd bring him on.
Nice.
Oh, I'd bring Lefty Frizzell on, and then but he didn't want me to leave the stage. So sometimes I would, but most of the time he wanted me to stay up there, and I'd play guitar, and that way I could turn around because he had disbanded at that time.
Okay.
So he wasn't carrying a band with him.
Gotcha.
So he was just using, different bands. And so I was able to turn to the band and I could play and they could see what the chords were because he never did want to do a rehearsal. Somebody asked him to do a rehearsal one time.
Right.
He said, they asked him if he could come down to do a rehearsal. And then the show was at about 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, whatever, that night. But just about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And they said, Lefty, can you come down? He said, well, yeah, sure, I can come down. He said, I can go down there now, or I can do it later on, whichever one you want. They said, well, we'll see you after a while. So he didn't do rehearsals basically.
Right.
I could have went down for him but I was able to because he had to show, the people, and I could turn around and show the guys the chords.
I love that.
And then I do harmony. I play harmonica with him sometimes. Then I do harmony with him on the show.
Harmonica and the guitar at the same time was, something that was kind of going on around then.
Oh, it absolutely was. But he gave me the opportunity. He didn't necessarily just teach me, but he gave me the opportunity to learn. And those days, let me mention this if we got time.
Yeah.
In those days, we maybe work a Friday and a Saturday night someplace, Thursday maybe, but Friday and Saturday someplace. But almost during the touring season, there's always these big package shows. They don't do them anymore. I don't guess it. But in those days, almost every Sunday there was a package show someplace. And Lefty was always invited to be on one of those shows every time, basically all the time.
Ain't no use tarrying. Let's start out tonight. Spread joy, we'll spread it right. We'll have fun and babe all the way down the line. You got money, honey.
And there'd be all these other artists on there. Like Johnny Cash. Oh my God, Johnny Cash became my hero. I still do. And June Carter was on there. Carl Smith was on there. George Jones. Everybody you can think of was on those package shows. So I got a chance to meet and got a chance to play and work with all of them people when I was 16 years old, up until I was 20 or so. Then I went in the Air Force, like I mentioned.
And then you came back out, and then you you're famous on your own right now. I mean, you have lots of fans. I mean, a #1 song. You have like some accolades that are your own, right? So it's interesting. That's why I was asking you, like, what that connection was. Sometimes people are just born with great genes, but then sometimes they're developed.
Well, he gave me a chance. I got a little story to tell you. That one time, this is a true story. One time after we got back off of a long tour, and Lefty lived out of San Fernando Valley in California. So we got back to the house. We've been gone for maybe a month, basically, through Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and so forth, and Arizona for sure. And that morning, I'd gotten up about 10 o'clock, and I was sitting in the den, and I was playing guitar, and I don't know if I was trying to write something or I was just playing guitar, And about 10 o'clock, and he came out of the bedroom. I didn't even notice. He came out of the bedroom, and he's going to the kitchen, but he came by through the little place where I was sitting at, and I happened to notice that he was there, and I looked up, and there he said, David, he said, you're doing the right thing. He says, I just want to tell you. He says, you know, you're out there, you're getting a chance to get out there with everybody, Johnny, all these people, and you're learning. He said, that's just really wonderful. He said, learn all of that. Learn everything you can. He said, but at the end of the day, we don't need another Johnny Cash. He's doing very well by himself. He don't, you know, and you don't need to do me. He said, I'm having trouble with him myself. He said, and he said, we need a David Frizzell. Yes. We don't need another one. And he said, so remember that. Always remember that. Learn everything you can from all these great people. But remember, we need a David Frizzell. Then he walked into the kitchen. And I sat there and I kept playing everything. And about 15 minutes later, he came back and he stopped again. And I looked up and he said, we don't need another Bob Dylan either. Oh! I must have been doing a Bob Dylan song. And walking out of the room. But there's not a day went by that man didn't tell me to be David Frizzell.
He believed in you until you could just believe in yourself.
And so I did. Yeah. And I worked at him. He told me how to do it, told me what to do, and I did it.
Fantastic. I know people are so enjoying you, you know. No, it's totally fine, guys. Walk on through. Did you have a good time?
We had a great time.
Yay! It's good to see you. It's good to see you. You know, and I think that is the most important thing. You know, we don't know what our journey is going to be, but there are certain opportunities for us that, you know, I guess it just makes the world so much sweeter. You know, is being able to have someone like your brother or have other people in your life that say, you know what, David, I believe in you and I think you can do it. Oh, who are some of the other people in your life, or who are some people that you think are talented now that you kind of want to give that sprinkle of stardust to?
Oh my gosh, there's some, you know, incredibly talented people out there. I have to tell you though, all the new music and all that is beautiful, it's wonderful and all that. But in my mind, when I think about music, I turn around and I look through the past. Merle Haggard was one of my best friends in the world. And there was the two biggest Lefty fans in the world was me and Hag. And maybe my wife Joanne now. But anyway, Merle, oh my goodness, he's amazing, man. Me and him did a lot of stuff together. And we would see who could imitate Lefty the best.
Really? Well, you guys are funny.
Beat me. He was the best I ever saw. He was one of those guys that could listen to you for one song and then completely imitate you.
Really?
He was the best.
You play by ear.
The best I ever saw at doing that. He'd give you a little Hank Snow. He'd give you a Buck Owens.
I love your guitar. Your guitar has your name on it. Oh, did somebody make that for you special?
Yeah, Gibson made that for me. The people at Gibson made that for me. They made, years ago, they made one for Lefty. Okay. The same same guitar. Yeah. Mine is a little different color. Yeah. But they put the Lefty name and then they put David on mine.
Yeah, it's nice. It looks good. And when I see you play that guitar, I can tell that that's, besides Joe, of course, it's your best friend. Would you say that your guitar is your best friend?
That guitar is the most unbelievable. I've got no telling how many guitars I've got. You can't have enough guitars. Come on, you can. You know, I got a house plumb full
like shoes, right?
I got so many, but I got one of Buddy Holly.
You do?
Buddy Holly, remember Buddy Holly?
Yes, of course.
I am one of the Buddy Holly ambassadors to the what is it, Joe? The Buddy Holly Educational Foundation out of the UK. I am now one of the ambassadors to them. They asked me to do a tribute to Buddy Holly, and this is back a few years. They read my book on Lefty, and they realized I found out that I was a big Buddy Holly fan because I had it in the book, and so they got in touch with me and asked me if I would do a tribute to Buddy Holly. I said, "Well, I'm the man to call, that's for sure, because I can do it." I said, "But this is a big deal. I can't do this. It's too big a deal for me to just do by myself. Can I bring in some of my friends?" They said, "Well, who's some of your friends?" I said, "Well, you know, Merle Haggard." They said, "You know Merle?" I said, "Everybody knows Merle." Of course I know Merle. So, and I got Merle in there, and Jimmy Fortune, T. Graham Brown, Helen Cornelius. I got them all in there. And we did a 21-song salute to the great Buddy Holly. And he's one of my heroes. Johnny Cash is one of my heroes. And so they made me an ambassador, and they gave me a special guitar. Buddy Holly had a J, what was that? J25? Well, J40, a Gibson guitar, and that's got so many frets in the neck, you know. And so they made a special guitar for special people, you know, and they made one that's Buddy Holly's guitar with the leather all over it and all that, Buddy Holly in it and all that, and they had one fret that they made in each one of those guitars. One of those frets of his particular guitar is in my guitar.
Give me, I have chills from my head to my toe and fingertip to
And the guitar
fingertip.
plays so
It
incredible.
does. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Elvis, I think, was the first one I've seen that had the Elvis leather guitar, you know.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of the next guy that had the guitar, but then Buddy Holly had to have one.
Did you like Elvis? Were you a fan of his
Elvis,
music
of
too?
course you kidding me? Elvis, everything. But I tell you, Buddy Holly was something to me. He was a songwriter too, and just amazing person. And he had written a song called what's the name of the song? That'll Be the Day.
Oh yeah.
That'll be the day. And
That'll be the
yeah.
day when you say goodbye.
Yeah, that'll be the day. And,
Yeah,
and
I
so-
like that song too.
And so Buddy wrote that song, and they sent a copy out to Brother Lefty to record, ask him if he would record it. So I found it. I found the whole basket. Lefty kept a great big basket at the front door when he
The
come
mail?
in.
All the mail?
Yeah, he'd throw everybody was sending him cassettes in those days. And Buddy had sent a cassette of That'll Be the Day
Oh.
to him. That was back in 1956, 1955, 1956. And so I was playing him some songs, and I never heard of Buddy Holly at that time, but I played that song for Lefty on a turntable thing. And no, it wasn't a cassette. It was a reel to reel, one of those little reel to reel
Oh yeah.
thing.
I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. So Columbia Records had given him a tape recorder that would play the. Anyway, so I was playing him songs, and I ran across this one, Buddy Holly, That'll Be the Day. So I played it. Kill me, knock me out. And I looked over at Lefty, and Lefty just sitting there. So I played it again, right? You know, didn't say anything. So then I played a couple of other songs, and then I played it again. The songs I wanted to replay, I put right here. Any of the other songs I put back in a different basket, right? So I played that for about the fourth time. And Lefty said, I looked over and I said, what do you think? He said, you play that one more time, I'm going to call the cops. And I said, Sonny, I called him Sonny. I said, Sonny, that's a hit song. It's just a hit song. He said, that's a hit song for you.
Wow.
You need to record. I said, I don't have a record deal. So we went from there to Lefty's house to Nashville, Tennessee, 1959, not early 1960. And we went by and we played Hobbs, New Mexico, 3 days. And from there, that's when Buddy Holly passed, was while we were there. So give kind of an idea when it was. He passed while we were in Hobbs, New Mexico, and I was devastated. Because I did his songs, that'll be then some of those songs on my show that Lefty I'd do, and then I'd bring Lefty. Anyway, we went back to Nashville, and we stopped on the outskirts of Nashville, a little convenience market of some kind. And Don Law, Columbia Records producer, Don Law of Columbia Records, met us there and brought Lefty a little reel of a song. And so he came to the car and we went inside because Lefty had a little woolen sack tape recorder. We went into the little market. I plugged it in and we played that little tape that Don Law had that brought out. It was Long Black Veil. I don't know if you've ever heard the song, Long Black Veil. And then we went on into Nashville. Lefty listened to it a couple of times, and then he had a big recording session there. And Lefty recorded the song. Mary John Wilkins was played piano on the session. She was the one that co-wrote it, and she's an incredible lady. That song, I was with Lefty when he would cut it, and I never heard anybody sing like that. He completely redid me when singing, knocked me plumb out. And And so then I sing a song. Lefty wrote a song. He said, David, would you sing this song, for Don and all of them? He said, because I got to go record. And would you sing? So I sing him one of Lefty's songs that he just wrote so he could get it published, right? So I sing a song, and Don signed me to Columbia Records. That's when I got on Columbia Records the first time.
That's a great song. That is a great story. That is a great story.
So Lefty had, and on the way when Buddy Holly passed, we was in Hobbs, New Mexico. I was devastated. I couldn't hardly even talk. Lefty said, David, he said, I think when we go to Nashville, something really good is going to happen. He said, I don't know what. He said, but something really good is going to happen. So I said, well, let's go to Nashville. He said, let's go to Nashville. He said, I feel like something's going good. He said, not for just me. He said, but you too, he said.
You just had that knowing.
So he went and got Long Black Veil, which was a top 10 record, number 3, I think it was. Number 1 might have been. And I got on Columbia Records.
Congratulations.
Not a big.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad to know you. I've been wanting to talk to you all week, but our schedules are so ridiculously crazy. But this was fun. We're actually like just sitting after this wine event that we had, just visiting. They're doing dishes in the background. We got craziness going on, and it's just the two of us here right now.
The boat ain't even rocking that much.
I know. The boat's not rocking, but we're rocking. Stay tuned for more. We have been living it up right here with David Frizzell.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a pleasure. Oh,
Thank
my
you.
gosh. You're
Appreciate
just